This woman told a pregnant lady, a very pregnant lady, to sit on the ground because she was not giving her chair. Y'all might be mad, but I don't know if I can give her a bad apple. Happy apple day! What's happening? Oh, yay, we have a Mixie. For those who are brand new and have no idea who I am or what I'm talking about, every Tuesday, people send in stories to my subreddit, r/AmITheBadApple, where they're not sure if they acted appropriately or not. And of course, per Reddit norms, they want help from internet strangers. So we read the stories and we use our own perspectives and experiences to determine, were they right? Good apple! Were they wrong? Bad apple! Or were they somewhere kind of in the middle? Crab apple! Sometimes we agree, sometimes we don't, and that is okay, because we all come from different branches of the apple tree. So without further ado, let's get started with this week's episode of Am I the Bad Apple? Let's go apple picking! Apple number 1. Am I the bad apple for being hurt my friend didn't invite me to her wedding? I, 21 female, have been friends with Zoe, 21 female, since junior year of high school. Here's the backstory. We bonded over our love for books and writing, and we hung out outside of school on multiple occasions throughout the rest of our high school career. When college started, we were both surprised that we went to the same community college as each other, and we were almost in the exact same classes. That meant we spent most of the week together in class and studying and hanging out with each other outside of school. During the spring semester of college, she started dating this guy who was 10 years older than her and I guess was a family friend for many years, so I was happy for her because she was happy. That same year in December, she announced her engagement online. Again, I was happy because she was happy. The semester before that, I actually took a bunch of extra classes in order to keep a scholarship and graduate early, and I did, but that meant for the last semester and a little bit, I didn't really see her as much. After she got engaged, I called her to catch up because it had been forever since we saw each other, and she mentioned that she was planning her wedding. In that conversation, she mentioned to me how at the time she was working on the invitations and working so hard to design them, and she was so proud of how they looked, and that soon she was gonna have to start getting everyone's addresses to send them out. Life carried on, and then a couple months later, I saw a bunch of Facebook posts. Congratulations to Zoe and Greg. What a beautiful wedding. It already happened, and I wasn't even invited. I cried for hours and then called my boyfriend for support, and then I thought maybe I should text Zoe and see if there was a reason that she hasn't said anything to me at all, and all I texted her was, "Congratulations on your wedding, Zoe," and she didn't even respond to me for a good while. When she finally did respond to me, all she said back was, "Thank you." That's it! Then I started thinking about situations towards the end of when we saw each other where she did some awful things and said some awful things, and now I feel like I just lost a friend. I feel betrayed, but am I wrong for being hurt? Am I the bad apple? I'll be honest, I don't usually pick stories that are like, am I the bad apple for feeling this way? Am I the bad apple for being insecure? Am I the bad apple for blah, blah, blah? Because who am I to dictate whether someone feels something or not? Like, that's weird. I usually make it a point to not pick those stories. We don't need to be dictating whether someone can or can't feel something, because a lot of times feelings are involuntary. I did pick this one though because I thought it was a good lesson. That sometimes people who you deem as very important to you and as a big part of your life don't always reciprocate that. And that is the worst feeling ever. It is so painful, it is terrible, but it happens. I don't think there's a single bad apple in this story. Zoe got married and she planned her wedding and she had the people that she wanted there. That didn't include OP. And for her to say, well, I feel like I lost a friend. I don't know if you were friends. Maybe you were back when you were hanging out on a regular basis, but people drift apart. You graduated, a year, a semester, however early? And then months later, she got engaged. And then she went through the entire wedding process and you're saying, oh, well, I called her because it's been so long, it's been months since I talked to her. It's not like she has no friends during that time period. Clearly she's talking to someone and it's not you. So that means she's gonna invite the people who are friends with her now. People drift apart, and apparently she feels like she drifted from you, and that happens. And I'm so sorry that your feelings are hurt, but that doesn't make her wrong. Whether you guys had a falling out, like you said, oh, now I'm starting to think about all these things that happened. I don't know what happened. I don't know why you guys stopped talking, but regardless, she's not wrong for not inviting someone to her wedding, and you're not wrong for being upset that this friendship isn't clearly what you thought it was. No one's a bad apple. No, I don't think anybody is in the wrong. I do think it's weird to dwell on it. Well, I texted her and it took her a while to respond. What, did you text her the day after her wedding and you're like, I don't know why she's not responding to me? She just got married. She's probably going off to her honeymoon. Like, she's not worrying about you or anybody else other than her husband right now. And I'm not saying you're not allowed to feel a certain type of way about it. I'm saying it's a logical, understandable reason as to why she didn't get back to you. Feel free to mourn your friendship, but just based on this, I have a feeling that this was a very one-sided relationship, possibly. And that happens, and it's sad, and I feel for you, but you deserve a real friend. Apple number 2, I, 27 male, live alone. My brother, 21 male, and his girlfriend, 19 female, still live with our parents as they can't afford a place on their own right now. His girlfriend's currently pregnant of 4 months. My brother asked if he could bring his girlfriend to our dinner in order to catch up, and I said, sure, why not? However, the moment she entered my house, she started complaining about the smell of the steak that I was making and just said that the smell alone was making her nauseous and she can't eat it. I tried to suggest that I could make something else, but she was dead set on Chinese food and ended up making my brother go to the nearest mall in order to get her some. I thought that would be the end of it, but after going to the bathroom and coming back, I caught her throwing my unfinished steak into the garbage. I asked her, what are you doing? She said that the smell was so strong that she thought she was gonna end up throwing up on the floor and she needed to get rid of it and just started spraying perfume all around my kitchen. I was beyond furious at this point and I just sent her back to the living room, and when my brother came back from the mall, I kicked them both out with their Chinese food. My brother tried to convince me to just let them back in the house and that I could make something else for the two of us, and his girlfriend was pretty much sobbing at this point, but I was dead set on just kicking them both out. However, now my parents are mad at me, apparently for
causing too much distress to my brother's pregnant girlfriend.
I told them she literally threw away our dinner, but they said that I shouldn't have yelled at her or kicked them out as she's just a teenager who's now getting influenced by pregnancy hormones, and that my outburst has now caused problems in their relationship as she ended up sending my brother to sleep on the couch that night. He literally defended her against me, so I have no idea why that's my fault. This whole thing just seems dumb, and I need to know. Was I the bad apple? Listen, I have never been pregnant before, okay? But a lot of my friends have. And if I'm not mistaken, I think there's a clear distinction between pregnancy hormones, making you a little emotional, making your senses a little heightened, especially your sense of smell, and then acting inappropriately and bad behavior and just treating other people badly. These brothers wanted to get together and catch up, and the pregnant girlfriend had to come, which, okay, I think it would have been nice to just have them go out, but okay, if she must be included and she wants to get to know her future in-law if they're planning on staying together, I think that's fun. And then she gets there and she's like, oh my gosh, this smell is overwhelming, I can't eat it, like I'm gonna be sick. Understandable, okay? I just went to lunch with one of my best friends who's pregnant and we tried to eat outside and we could not because the wind was blowing a certain way and I guess she could smell the sewage from down the street. I couldn't smell it that bad, but it's okay because I love her. So we went back inside. Like, I get sense of smell crazy. We want our pregnant friends to be comfy and loved and feel supported. I get that. Okay, she wanted something different. I feel like when the entire point of this get-together being the brothers catching up and seeing each other, I don't like that she sent him to go find Chinese food, okay? And I know there's gonna be people in the comments that are like, but cravings! I know, okay. DoorDash, Uber Eats. Like, I'm not saying that it's not okay for your husband to go take care of your pregnancy hormones. I'm saying that the whole point of this get-together was for him to spend time with his brother, and you're like, no, you gotta leave, you gotta go get me something. And then on top of that, for her to decide not only that they can't eat the dinner either, she threw it away? Like, I think that if she went up to him and said, I love you, I get that you spent money on steaks. Steaks are expensive, okay? Steaks can be very expensive. I'm begging you to eat something else because I'm going to throw up on the floor. Like, I appreciate you trying to do this, but I'm going to be sick. That, I think, would be so much more reasonable than throwing it away. He could have put that in the fridge and finished making it tomorrow. How entitled, what audacity. Just take someone's expensive food that they're in the middle of making and without talking, no, I'm just gonna throw it away. No. I would be mad too. And then on top of it, when the brother came home finally from getting the Chinese food, OP was all upset. He's like, I want her to leave. I'm frustrated. She threw our dinner away. His only response was,
well, you can just make us something else.
you were making us food and my girlfriend threw it away, but you can start over and do the work all over again. Make it make sense. I totally get the brother just came all the way from the mall. He's probably exhausted. He's probably annoyed, but like, I'll order us some pizza. Maybe we can all just go out. No, dude, it's okay. You can start over and just start making something else from scratch. I don't like any of it. I think they're being very entitled. And I know that some people are gonna say, Rebecca, you don't get it. You've never been pregnant. Pregnancy hormones didn't make her throw away someone else's food. You can't convince me that's a thing. Hormones make you feel a type of way and maybe her emotions are out of whack, but I don't think it makes you decide to go and waste someone else's money like that. No. And I know other people in the comments are gonna say, Rebecca, she's only 19. I get she's 19. If she's old enough to be a parent, she's old enough to respect other people's belongings. I'm rooting for her. I want her to thrive. I want her to be the best parent and have the best life with her child. That doesn't mean that she gets a free pass to just treat people like trash because she's a pregnant teenager. I'm sorry. I'm going good apple for OP. Probably gonna go crab apple for the brother, and I'm gonna go bad apple for the teenager, especially then your boyfriend stood up for you and you're still making him sleep on the couch because his brother didn't let you get away with throwing his food away? And again, maybe, I just don't know. I've never been pregnant. I don't have experience with teen pregnancy. I've never even had a student that had that kind of issue. So if there's something that I'm missing, feel free to let me know in the comments. Even if someone comes back and they're like, no, Rebecca, you really don't understand pregnancy hormones. You've never experienced them. Her actions are totally understandable given her condition. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. I still don't think his reaction is unjustifiable. Just because she's going through something doesn't mean that he can't be frustrated that his dinner was thrown away, that he now has nothing to eat and his money was wasted, and he didn't get to spend time with his brother. I think he's valid for being upset and not wanting them to be there anymore. So I said what I said. Apple number 3. Am I the bad apple for shushing children during a movie? I, female 36, recently went to see the Super Mario Brothers movie. As you can imagine, there were a lot of kids and families there. 2 such kids, probably around 8 and 12, happened to be sitting right next to me. The issue started initially during the previews when they wouldn't stop talking. There were some other kids talking too, and it was only previews, so I just ignored it. I mean, it was kind of annoying, but again, it was only previews. However, once the previews ended and the real movie began, the kids next to me continued to keep talking while everyone else stopped and just wanted to enjoy the movie. I tried really hard to ignore them and just let them live their best life, but about 15 minutes in, I couldn't take it. They were so loud and obnoxious, and they were completely ruining the movie for me and my family. So I shushed them and hoped that they would just stop. But no, they just kept talking really loudly. The 12-year-old next to me looked at me and told me to
shut up and to go screw myself.
I was so mad. I didn't even bother to wait to speak to their parents because I just wanted to forget how rude they were. Not only did these kids not stop talking during the entire movie, which is already bad enough because I paid for the movie and not a movie commentary, but I couldn't believe how rude the 12-year-old was. Telling me, a grown adult, to shut up and grow screw myself when I wasn't the one causing problems? I told a friend of mine that was a teacher who told me that my shushing was rude and that I just provoked the kid into telling me that. But I don't think that's an acceptable answer. I don't think I did anything wrong. I just wanted to enjoy the movie that I paid for. But now I'm wondering, was she right? Was I the bad apple? I'm nervous because I feel like some people are not going to agree with me. I don't think she was wrong for telling them to be quiet. Yes, kids will be kids, and I can totally see kids getting really excited because it's Mario and they really want to see the movie and like chatting with each other and whispering about the movie and just talking. But at the same time, you're 12 years old, you're old enough to understand to respect other people when you go out. Like when you go into a restaurant, you shouldn't sit there and yell and scream and cause a whole commotion because other people are enjoying their dinner. When you go to a movie theater, other people also paid to watch the movie, not listen to you talk to your friend. When you're on an airplane or a bus or something like that, you know, using headphones and not just blasting your music or phone conversation or whatever. Like that is respectful. That is how people act in public or are supposed to act in public. I don't think there's anything wrong with just kind of asking people, hey, can you please keep it down? We're trying to watch the movie. And I'm so disappointed that those kids' parents didn't do anything. They're right there too. They're in the same movie theater. They can see their kids. Your kids are the only one in the theaters. Like everyone else also paid for that movie. It's not just about your children having a good time. Like I'm glad they're enjoying the movie, but everyone else wants to also. And I know someone in the comments is gonna be like, what? People aren't allowed to laugh at a movie or laugh at a joke or make any noise during a movie. I think there is a huge difference between, you know, you see those clips of people watching Endgame in movie theaters all together and all getting excited at different parts. I think that's completely different than someone talking over the entire movie to the point that other people aren't able to enjoy it. Especially when people are like, hey, can you please keep it down? Like, even if they said, okay, we'll whisper. They couldn't even do that. So they not only were ruining the experience for other people, to then yell at those people for saying, hey, we just want to enjoy the movie. That's rude, okay? That's why I would never, ever, ever, ever teach middle school. Nope, 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 nope. I can't with the attitudes, man. I can't. Never. And honestly, that is really annoying for her teacher friend to be like, you provoked him. Like that is part of why I'm not in a classroom anymore. That mentality of, a kid just threw a desk at you.
What did you do to provoke him?
Oh, you asked him to follow the rules and he yelled at you and told you to shut up.
You must have upset him.
You already know I don't agree with that. So I'm definitely gonna go with good apple. I don't think there was anything wrong with it. I think parents need to control their children in public and teach them to be respectful of other people in public spaces. Everyone's excited for Super Mario, Jimmy, so let everyone else watch it. I don't know, someone's gonna be like,
Well, if you want it quiet during a movie, watch it at home.
when you pay to go to a movie theater, you're paying for the movie theater experience of getting to sit in the comfy seats and maybe get some snacks and have the big screen. You don't pay to have someone talk over the entire time. Like they literally tell you at the movie theater, hey, keep it down so other people can enjoy. So saying that other people should be able to just talk through the entire movie, like no, that's not what the movie theater is intended for. The movie theater in fact says don't do that. You're not entitled to change the movie theater rules. Like your ticket is no better than anyone else's ticket. I'm sorry. Apple number 4. Am I the bad apple for telling a pregnant woman to just sit on the ground instead of giving her my seat? My nephews both graduated from high school this morning and I wanted to sit up front so I could cheer them on. So I camped out a bit in front of the entrance of the school. I brought my own folding camping chair and my headphones to listen to my show and just kind of pass the time while the line got longer behind me. About 40 minutes before the school would let us in, a pregnant woman slid into line next to me since someone let her in the line. I assume it's her partner. She asked me within 5 minutes, politely I'll admit, if she could have my chair that I brought as she was having some trouble standing the whole time. I said, no, I'm sorry. I have really bad feet and knees and I really need it. That's why I brought it. And I just went back to playing on my phone. Within 2 minutes, she asked me again and I answered the same, no, I'm sorry. I knew that I wouldn't want to stand, so I brought my own chair. Then she started getting mad at me, saying that she was gonna be struggling the whole time. And can't I see that she's pregnant? She then kept smacking her partner on the arm, saying, tell her I need it. Tell her I'm pregnant. Tell her she needs to give me her chair. He then asked me himself, politely, can you please give her your chair? She's very pregnant and she's having some trouble standing in line this whole time. I said, I'm sorry. I need my chair also, and I brought it for that reason. I suggested that she could wait in the car or maybe even sit on the ground if she needed to. Her husband looked at me and said,
On the ground? Are you crazy? You're such a jerk. I can't believe you would say that to a pregnant woman.
They gave me dirty looks, but after that, they left me alone. I then watched her struggle for the remainder of the time, and I felt kind of bad, but I also knew that my body needed to be seated too, and I don't think I should have had to give up my chair that I brought for a stranger who couldn't be responsible for herself. But she is pregnant. Should I have? Was I the bad apple? We're talking about a lot of pregnant ladies today. So I know there's this unspoken respect rule kind of thing that when you see someone who's pregnant or disabled or elderly and you're on a bus or a subway or anything like that and there's no more empty seats, like you offer them your chair. Like, that's the polite thing to do. And I think that if these were benches that were the school's or chairs that the school had given, I think that would be a different story. But for me, this being a chair that the person brought, like she had a plan, I'm gonna be there for a while. I have bad knees for medical reasons. I need to sit down, so I'm gonna bring this chair. I don't think it's realistic for someone to say, oh, I need that more than you, give me your chair. You know, this obviously is not the first day she's pregnant. She knows how it feels to be standing and on her feet for a particular amount of time. Why didn't she bring her own chair? Why didn't she sit in the car for a little bit, you know, with the windows down, just kind of hang out in the breeze and the comfy seats of her car? What would have happened if the OP didn't bring her own chair? There still wouldn't be a chair for the pregnant lady, so I'm not understanding why it's OP's fault that she planned for her bodily needs and the pregnant lady didn't, and now OP is expected to give up her, no, I don't like that. I don't like it. Now I'll be honest, Avery Rogers in a heartbeat give up his chair. So like, I'm not saying that my family would have or wouldn't have acted differently. I'm just saying that I can't fault this woman for planning for her body and not being willing to give up that plan for her own bodily sake. So I'm gonna go good apple. And I hope later a pregnant family plans a little bit better and has the things that she needs to be comfortable, because you know, bless pregnant ladies' hearts, y'all are growing life. That's crazy, that's wild. You are making a person, wow. But at the same time, everyone else is also dealing with their own bodily needs and their own issues, and everyone else's needs don't just go away just because you have yours. I think she was a little bit of a bad apple there, and I think OP was a good apple. That's what I'm going with. Oh, do we have all good apples today? A long time ago, my followers asked if the good apples could be like an apple pie. So today, I am eating sweet apple pie. My mom makes the best homemade apple pie when you pair it with the Bluebell homemade vanilla ice cream. Oh, it's so good. So that's what I'm envisioning I'm eating today. What are you eating? Are you eating apple pie? Did you get anything different? Again, I only have my own experiences and perspectives. If someone wants to add any, feel free to let me know in the comments. You know, I love to hear your reasonings. I love to hear your opinions. And I'm so glad that you guys joined me today. As always, if you want any of your stories to possibly be featured on Am I the Bad Apple, you can submit your stories to my subreddit, r/Am I the Bad Apple. I also have a Discord now that people are able to submit stories to, so I will link that in the description as well. And for your well wishes today, I hope you all are able to get a hold of some nice ice cream. Now all I can think about is homemade vanilla. It's hot out, we need a nice cool treat, and that'll do the trick. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I hope to see you guys next week. Bye, my lovelies.